Hey everyone, today I'm sitting here with Steve Myrick from the Fleming Group KC to talk through one of the more complex processes when you're looking to buy your next home, and that's getting your mortgage. So Steve,
Yeah.
welcome to the channel.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when we think about buying a home, obviously most people, 90% of people have to get financing for their
Yep.
home.
Yeah.
That process is confusing, I think, for a lot of people.
Mhm.
So we want to help clarify some of that.
Yeah.
So walk us through a little bit. What is the process? I mean, do we start with it? We hear a lot about pre-approval,
Yeah.
pre-qualification.
Mhm.
What is that? How does that work? And how does that help us throughout the rest of the process?
Yeah, those are great questions, and you're right. I mean, it is kind of a big rock for people.
Yeah.
A lot of times
Yeah.
there's some, we get a ton of questions about what does this look like and what does this mean. So for us, typically when you contact a client and you send them our way, I'm going to have an initial conversation with them just to hear a little bit about their story and get a general understanding. Big things that we talk about in that initial conversation are going to be employment, any assets that they have available, those types of things. So just try to get a decent feel for what their goals are and how we can help. Then from there, I will send them a link to an online application. It is a kind of guide you through step by step on your own process. So it's very easy to complete. I think that, for us, the advancement in technology has made this process very streamlined for people. So that's kind of people feel at ease when they know, hey, you click through at your own pace. But I always do tell people as they're working through that, if they have questions, they can text or call me at any time. I can help walk them through it. If they feel more comfortable going through that together, I'm happy to do that as well. Once that application is submitted, then I have an opportunity to work it up on my end, and I'll look through with a more fine-tooth comb a lot of those things that we talked about regarding employment, assets that they would have available. There's going to be some declarations that people can go through and make about their personal story on that. So,
Right.
those pieces, once those are in place, then that's when we run it through the automated underwriting system, and we'd be able to generate the pre-approval at that point. Once they have the pre-approval, then that goes back to your hands and to theirs, and then they
Right.
can go out and start looking at an offering on homes.
Perfect. And so some people have also heard about a pre-qualification.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between pre-qualification and pre-approval?
Yeah, semantics probably really
Okay.
is the thing. So for us, they're synonymous because we are looking at all of those financial documents
Right.
throughout the pre-approval process. So some companies will not do that. They will just, take your word for it, so to speak. We're going to probably be a little bit more thorough on that end. So I'm going to look at pay stubs and bank statements and those types of things up front, because we really feel like doing that work up front eliminates the possibility of a hiccup down the road in the process.
Right.
So the more work we do ahead of time, the smoother the process is going to be for everybody as we go through.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we get the pre-approval.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my clients, we're looking for homes. We find that home.
Mm-hmm.
We have the pre-approval
Mm-hmm.
that provides evidence to the listing agent that
Yeah.
says, we can afford this home. We
Mm-hmm.
can put this contract down. We can submit this contract. It also gives my clients a better opportunity to win the contract
Mm-hmm.
because they have that pre-approval and they've gone through those steps already.
Yeah.
So once we get to that step, we submit the contract. What's the next step?
Yeah. So I will back up. There's a step in between there that our team really feels like is critical and important, and that's going to be a buyer's consultation. So
Perfect.
once we have that initial phone call, we get the application filled out online. I send you and the client the pre-approval. In that email that goes to you and to the client, there's going to be a request to set a face-to-face meeting. That face-to-face meeting is our buyer's consultation, where you come in and we're going to spend, it's going to be a lot more in depth than the initial phone call in the online app. It's going to be 30 to 45 minutes or longer if needed, where we really custom fit the loan program to meet the financial needs of the client, of the buyer. The purpose of that meeting is because what people qualify for and what they want to spend are always two very different numbers, right? So for me, my job in that meeting is to learn what is important to our clients,
Right.
and then help them build the game plan that's going to keep them within those confines of their financial goals. And so you're showing them houses. They're going to look at houses that they know meet with all of the goals that they've lined out. They have a chance to ask questions real time and have those answered. We can run multiple scenarios, because the beauty of the loan process is there's options galore, right? So our job is just to provide those options and then really let the client select which one makes the most sense for them financially. So once that is complete and you guys go out and you find one that you love, the next steps then would be, we would get the contract, and from that point it starts the process of, really moving toward the closing table. So you would negotiate how long the closing is going to be. Say it's 30 days. That's pretty common in our area. We will start to gather documents for underwriting. All of those are going to be, we're going to talk through those in those buyer consults, so they know what's coming. Keep in mind, a majority of those documents we'll probably already have on file, because we do that with the pre-approval process. We're going to be grabbing a lot of those up front. But if there are some additional documents that we need, we would grab those at that point. Client's going to need to go get a homeowner's insurance quote for the property. So they're going to need to talk to their insurance agent and get a quote for homeowner's insurance that they're going to carry on the property. And we'll gather that information, and we'll put all of that together and have that ready for underwriting. During that period, most people do an inspection. So that's something separate from what we do, but they would have an inspection done, and then you guys would work together to come to resolutions on anything that came up on the inspection. And then once we hear back that everything's good, we're going to move forward, we would order the appraisal for the home. So the appraisal process takes 10 days or so, where the appraiser is going to go out. They're going to schedule a time to get inside the house and look and make sure that everything looks good from a value standpoint. What you've offered on the home, they want to line that up. And then they would turn that report back into us so it can be reviewed, and that goes to you and to the client as well. And then we put all of that together and send that into underwriting. So the underwriters are going to review all of the documents that we've put in place, and if there's any additional requests, they would make those at that point. Comes out of underwriting, everything looks great, we're good to go. We would send all of those documents over to the title company, and the title company would balance with us on making sure that our documents line up with what they need. And then we have that final package, we get the clear to close, and we're ready to go and meet you at the closing table.
So it sounds super simple.
This is
I mean, this is a day and we're done. And
it takes time. There are a lot of moving parts, because a lot of those things that we just talked through, there's third parties that are involved in that. And so the waiting game, it's hurry up and wait. That's the piece that can be challenging in this process, certainly.
Well, that's part of that is why our clients work with us.
That's right.
Right. We remove a lot of that stress. We remove a lot of that confusion, relying on the professionals to help them through that process and just shoulder a lot of that pressure, a lot of that stress, and make the buying process easier for them. So, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think communication is key through that as well. I know I know that's a foundational pillar of your business, and something that we do as well. So there's weekly updates that will come from our team, and if needed, more frequent, right? It's going to be about what the client needs. And so Tuesdays are typically the day that our team cuts out time to talk to the listing side and everybody on the buy side, just to, here's where we are, here's what's happened, here's where we're going. So those weekly updates help, I think, to, again, make sure everybody's on the same page. And that way we do understand, we're waiting on this piece, or we need that piece to come in, and really just talking through all of that, keeping everybody informed and up to speed on what's going on. But if something happens between those weekly updates, then certainly that communication goes out as well. So we try to keep people up to speed. But I think that's one piece that our team really takes pride in, is just making sure that no one's caught off guard by anything. And communication is the biggest key to making sure that this process does go smoothly for everyone.
I have to agree. I mean, communication is a big problem in general, but communication is one of the pillars of my business. And to the point of probably over communicating, but it's important for everybody to understand every step of the way what's going on, what to expect, when we can expect it, right? We can't always hit the dates. Things happen. But knowing that ahead of time and not knowing that after the fact, it's big. It's huge. It's big. Absolutely.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
For those of you watching at home, or those of you watching on YouTube, thanks for taking the time. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to see more content, go ahead and click that follow button and hit that bell to be notified anytime we release new content.